But first up, Chris Bowen, the federal minister with the dual roles of Minister for Energy and the Minister for Climate Change. Odd you'd have the same person holding both jobs, given that if you are a climate change zealot, as Bowen is, you would be working to destroy the energy advantages Australia already has. You know, things like huge reserves of coal and uranium and gas, the holy trinity when it comes to guaranteeing industry and households cheap, reliable baseload power. Now, here was Minister Bowen on Melbourne Cup Day this week, Tuesday, discussing his latest flight of fantasy, and you find this hard to believe, this idea of his to give Australians, or some Australians, 3 hours of free electricity between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m.
Today, the Albanese government has announced our latest reforms to energy pricing in Australia, particularly the introduction of solar sharer, which will see a compulsion on energy companies to deliver an option for their consumers in default market offer states of having a free power period in the middle of the day. There is no catch, but it's up to people whether they take this offer up. They could look at this. We are requiring energy companies to make this an option.
Now, some very much needed context is needed here, and then the reason why this is such a crazy idea, unless, of course, you are Bowen and presumably our Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, who will both be able to wander around the country bragging about giving people, you watching us tonight, free electricity. But as we all know, there is no such thing as a free lunch. Now, for a start, to get this free power, you will need to be connected to what's known as a smart meter. It's a misnomer. They are not really that smart. They're just a digital readout of your energy use instead of a man sticking his head quarterly into your meter box. This is Bowen's problem around his promise to start the cutely labelled Solar Saver scheme in the middle of next year, because the state most connected to those smart meters is actually Victoria. And unlike New South Wales, South East Queensland and South Australia, Victoria's state government sets the default price your retailer can charge you. So the state government has control in Victoria over power prices, not Canberra. In Victoria, 99% of homes have smart meters. The level in other states is around 40%. So in the states where this scheme could start and will start, if Bowen's to be believed, 60% of households can't access it because they don't have a smart meter. Well, just as well, he didn't call it Smart Solar Saver. Now, Bowen went on to explain, even if you have no solar panels on your roof, not one, you will still get the 3-hour free electricity. Great news for you, not so great for Bowen and the solar panel industry, because if you're getting free power from Chris, why would you bother spending tens of thousands of dollars on solar panels and a battery? I mean, the problem number 3 for the Energizer Bunny minister is the power companies, after being forced by government decree, are likely to charge you more for electricity for normal people who are not at home between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. to wash their clothes, heat their hot water, cool their house or put the dryer on. I mean, hard-working average Aussies are also unlikely, even if they could afford, to buy appliances with timers on them to remotely operate their machines. Now, free power would be a great thing, but let's be clear why this is happening. And I'll talk to the coal industry in just a moment. Australians have sensibly rushed to put solar panels on their roofs. I don't have them. When the sun shines brightest in the middle of the day, unless you live in Melbourne in the middle of winter or wet as it's been in Sydney this winter, lots of solar power is generated. In fact, so much that Chris wants to give your solar power away for free. He goes on about charging your electric vehicle at home. Problem is, you probably drove your electric vehicle to work and it's not at home in the 3 hours he's doing this. I mean, this political power play might get people to forget that Labor promised during the election campaign your power bills would be cut by $275 a year. Remember this?
Reducing power prices by $275.
By 2025, $275 a year.
$275 a year.
We'll get power prices down by $275 a year.
$275 for the average house, lower in 2025 than today.
Put your hand up if that happened to you and don't rush toward the television. So what exactly will this Solar Saver scheme do for the majority of cash-strapped Aussies? Probably not much. And don't forget, just this year, New South Wales Premier Chris Minns, on a hottish day, told Sydney-siders to turn off their air conditioners because they might have blackouts. I mean, Bowen strikes me as like one of those door-to-door vacuum cleaner salesmen we used to have, trying to sell you something you already have and don't want a new one of, and annoyingly knocking on your door and refusing to shut up.